Hello and welcome to the Digital Tent. In this lesson, we'll take a look at how to install a running Sling instance and how to add a Groovy support on it. If you already have a running Sling instance or a CMS that runs on Sling, then you can go ahead and skip this part. Okay. First things first, we need Java and Groovy installed on our computer. To install Java, I'm going to use Mac package manager called Homebrew. So let's go ahead and search for Homebrew. The installation is pretty straightforward, so all we need to do is copy this command and go to terminal and paste it. That should install Homebrew. Now that we have Homebrew installed, let's go ahead and install Java. To do that, the formula is brew cask install Java. That should install the latest version of Java. So Java is installed now. Let's go ahead and install Groovy. Let's go to the Groovy documentation. And if you scroll down, you'll see the formula here. So let me clear this up. Brew install Groovy. Let's go ahead and check whether the installation was successful. Okay, Java is good. Let's check the Groovy version. There are a couple of warnings, but we'll ignore them. Okay, now we have Java and Groovy on our computer. So let's go ahead and download the Sling standalone jar file. So let's go to Apache Sling and let's go to downloads. And the one that I'm going to use for this series is the Sling CMS app. So let's go ahead and click that. Okay, it says not found. So the other way to download is to go to GitHub and in the releases, there's this jar file. So let me go ahead and click that. That should download the jar file. Okay, so the download is complete. Let's go to that folder. All we now need to do is double click it. That should start a Sling instance on localhost 8080. So let's go ahead and try that. Okay, so it's still starting up. While it's starting, let's go ahead and download the necessary jar file or bundles to add Groovy support to our Sling instance. So let's head over to Apache Felix. If you are already a Adobe Experience Manager user, you should probably be aware of Apache Felix. It's an implementation of OSGI framework, and from here you can manage all your bundles and configurations. So let's go to downloads, and the package that we are, or the bundle that we are interested in, is the web console script console plugin. So let's go ahead and download the jar file. And let's go and look at the documentation for this jar. Let's go to the subprojects, scroll down till we find the script console plugin. So it gives pretty good insight on what this plugin has to offer. Another point here is if you have Maven project already running, you can probably add this as a dependency that would add the script console to your instance. And if you read here, it says install bundles for script language you want to use. So in our case, we're going to use Groovy. So let's go ahead and download that jar file. And I think those are the two jar files we need to add the Groovy console. Okay, so let's go back to our localhost 8080. Okay, now we see the Sling instance running. So let's go to the home. The default username and password is admin. There it is. So now that we downloaded the jar files, let's go ahead and install them. If you are familiar with Adobe Experience Manager or just a standalone Sling instance, you would know that it comes along with Apache Felix console. Here we manage all our bundles and configurations. So let's go ahead and hit install and update. Check both. And I'm going to first install the Groovy support. And once it's done, let me just go ahead and refresh the page and make sure it's active. Now let's go ahead and install the Felix jar file, the console jar file. Okay, it's not active, so let's go ahead and see what's wrong. Okay, now it says that org.json cannot be resolved. So this is a pretty common problem. The SCR actually flags it out and says it can't resolve it. So the easiest way to solve this is to find that bundle and install it. So let's copy that or search with Google. And let's go to the first link. So you can see that there are different versions of that jar file here. It could be possible that if you download the latest version and try to install it, it might not work. So I would suggest that you try different versions until it starts working. So I already tried this version, so let me go ahead and download that bundle. Okay, it's downloaded, so let's head back. So let's go ahead and install the json.org jar file. Okay, so that's active. Now let's go ahead and start this bundle. Okay, now this bundle is active too. Let's just finally refresh and make sure that we see all the bundles active. Okay, now once we install the Felix console plugin, we would have the script console option here in web console. So let's go ahead and click it. That should load the Groovy console or the script console. You have a couple of different options here. Also, you can run JSPs, ECMA scripts, or the HTML templating language scripts. But in this series, we'll use Groovy. So before we finish, let's go ahead and run some dummy code. For reference, let me go back to the documentation. And let me go ahead and copy that. Head back to the console plugin. Paste it. Execute it. Alright. Now we have a running Sling instance with Groovy script console plugin. That's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next lesson where we'll look into how to write Groovy scripts and how to manipulate data. See you there. Bye.